Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Monday morning on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Let's start things off by taking a look at your weather forecast. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick has been hard at work keeping an eye on it for all of us. Thomas, while it might be a light dusting of snow, there's no doubting that there are some really slick spots out there.
Yeah, especially when that snow was falling. It was probably very close to the freezing mark, and even any warm roads melted the snow, and now it just refroze, and that almost makes things even worse than they would have been otherwise. So just be cautious for icy roads no matter what. No matter how much snow you got or think you got, those roads are likely going to be icy. Some flurries still ongoing kind of in and around Coeur d'Alene and Hayden, kind of back building across some of these higher elevation and terrained areas nearby. But meanwhile in Spokane, no active snowfall, but because temperatures dropped to about 28 degrees, I think any of these streets that had any water on it is just refreezing into black ice. So snow is ending this morning, midday and afternoon hours above freezing, so the snow will remelt and we'll see road conditions improve, but graupel is back in the forecast for this afternoon. Thankfully, graupel shouldn't be too impactful, and instead black ice will be the main concern for this morning and tomorrow morning.
Well, to get you ready for your morning commute today, we sent our Brandon T. Jones out to check on road conditions this morning. So, Brandon, where are you right now and how are the roads where you are?
Yeah, good morning, Channing. Well, we've made our way back over into Post Falls, just trying to check out some of the conditions over here. You can see some of those light snowflakes starting to fall again over here in this area. I know Thomas has mentioned that it won't last too long, but what we have seen are some pretty cleared out areas, and that's what we just want to make sure we're looking at. And Thomas did mention that, you know, what happens with some of these roads is that it gets a little bit, yeah, see, that's kind of slick though, you know, so it starts to melt, it starts to freeze back up, and that's really what you want to be on the lookout for, because of course slippery conditions aren't fun, but that's why we're here. We want to just keep you updated, keep you informed about those conditions. And then also we saw the WashDOT Twitter, they tweeted out a couple of incidents. There's quite a few accidents on some of the highways, some of those exits, so again, you just want to make sure you're taking your time out there. Of course, we know that the roads are going to be somewhat slick. There's not much snow, but you never know when some of that melts. You can see people out here are working, getting their sidewalks shoveled out. And again, just keep an eye out for that. Take your time and just make sure you're not rushing, because you never know when you can run into some of those slippery areas. But again, we're just going to continue to travel around. We're going to continue to travel around, and yeah, we're right outside of Shift over. So hi there, how's it going? So here, can we turn around? We wanted to give a shout out to these kind folks, these kind individuals. Yeah, no, we were just saying hi. We were on air, you know, just wanted to say hi. Yeah, all right, so yeah, we're just gonna continue to check this area out. They're waving, so you know, if you're waving, I gotta get you some love on TV as well. So I'll toss it back to you on the studio, but yeah, make sure you're driving safe and take your time out there on the roads. For now, reporting live in Post Falls, Brandon T. Jones, KREM City News.
Great tips as always, Brandon. And new this morning, Onion Creek School District will be on a late start today due to the weather. The buses will be running on the main roads today, and there is no preschool. Of course, we'll continue to update you on any more school delays and closings this morning on Up with KREM. Some breaking news we've been tracking this morning, a major decision from the U.S. Supreme Court that states cannot bar former President Donald Trump from the 2024 presidential ballot. This ruling comes just one day before Super Tuesday. The court said without action from Congress first, states cannot invoke the 14th Amendment. That amendment was adopted after the Civil War to prevent former office holders who engaged in insurrection from holding office again. The outcome ended efforts from some states to kick former President Trump off of the ballot because of his alleged attempts to undo his loss in the 2020 presidential election.
Ooh, look at that dunk. How about that? Go Cougs. Today, the WSU men's basketball team jumped up in the rankings after 2 wins against both Southern California teams last week. The win against UCLA on Saturday was also the team's 14th conference win of the season. That means they tied the program's record. KREM 2's sports director Travis Green was in Beasley Coliseum with reactions from the team after the game.
Another nail-biter for the Cougs and another big game late for Jalen Wells. He led all scorers with 27 points, 11 of which came in the game's final 7 minutes. When the pressure's been on, the junior forward's been cooler than the other side of the pillow.
He definitely got ice in his veins, man. I've been playing basketball for a long time. He's one of the guys that, if not one of, he might be the best guy I've seen down the stretch. And it just goes back to all the work he puts in, honestly.
I mean, my team has confidence in me. Obviously, I was the one with the ball, so he's giving me the ball in those moments. So I know he has confidence in me. You know, I've been in the gym, so I'm confident in all my shots. The shots I shoot are shots that I'm practicing. So any shot that goes up, I probably practice it 1,000 times.
He's a winner. I don't know. He's a believer, and I think all those guys are. They're just. I don't know. They're wired that way. It's nice to coach those guys.
Up next, the regular season finale, and it's a big one for our Coug fans. The Apple Cup on Thursday night here in Beasley Coliseum. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. Reporting from Pullman, Travis Green, KREM 2 Sports.
Well, the WSU women's team is also coming off of a big win this weekend. Channing joining us now to explain what's next for the team. Channing?
Yeah, that's right, Tim. So the WSU women's team beat 13th ranked Colorado 72-63. This is the third win in the Cougs' last 5 contests following a 5-game losing streak, 3 of which were against ranked teams. Now the women move on to the start of the Pac-12 tournament on Wednesday. Their first game is against the California Golden Bears. Tip-off is at 2:30 p.m. And history was made over the weekend in the world of college basketball as well. Iowa guard Caitlin Clark, now college basketball's all-time leading scorer. She passed Pistol Pete with her 3,368th point. Pistol Pete's record stood for 54 years. Clark finished with 35 points in the Hawkeyes' win over Ohio State this weekend.
Spokane Public Schools started a full-scale investigation for racist comments made in an elementary school newsletter. KREM 2's Nathan Hyun got a chance to look at that newsletter and shows us what it says.
Well, Wilson Elementary School families received the newsletter last Friday. One section suggested students dress up as slaves. The weekly newsletter sent out to Wilson Elementary School families features many of the events and accomplishments at the school. But in the section about an upcoming jazz concert, it said this: other students could dress as slaves, hobos, or ready for a night out to the jazz clubs. KREM 2 spoke with Lisa Gardner, president of Spokane's NAACP.
My initial response, of course, like a lot of the parents, was really shocking.
The principal of Wilson Elementary quickly sent an email to parents and guardians, saying school staff recognized the issue within less than 30 minutes after the newsletter came out.
Spokane Public Schools did what they needed to do as far as responding to the parents and making sure that they were aware and apologizing for anyone who was offended.
Spokane's NAACP chapter focuses on ending structural racism.
I'm proud of Spokane Public Schools, and I'm definitely proud of their response.
Wilson Elementary's principal also wrote in the email to parents that the content in the newsletter was unacceptable, and it did not align with the school's values. The principal stated the content was written by an individual employee and that there will be an investigation.
We are seeing a community that will not tolerate any insensitivity, that will not tolerate anything that looks or feels racist.
Gardner says this incident shows issues like this still exist within the community.
There's nothing that NAACP can do to prevent racism. What we can do is act diligently and act as a community to fight against it.
In a statement provided to KREM 2, Spokane Public Schools wrote, quote, "District leadership and the Human Resources Department responded immediately upon learning of this situation, as it will be taken extremely seriously and involve a full-scale investigation. We are deeply sorry for the Wilson school community and any others who have been harmed by these actions." The school district had no further comment. The newsletter was corrected less than an hour after it was sent. In the studio, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
At 8:10 this morning, our temperatures have continued to drop to about 28, 29 degrees between Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Because of that, any leftover water or snow is really starting to refreeze and solidify on roadways. So make sure that you're driving cautiously through the rest of the morning commute hours till these temperatures can get back above the freezing mark later on today. As for Doppler radar, nothing to show over Spokane County, but Kootenai County is still seeing a fair share of some lighter snow showers, especially between Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, and eastward. Same story if you're going up towards Sandpoint. That has been the locations that have seen the most snow overall so far today. So again, a cold morning with black ice now developing during the morning hours. It'll be the same story tomorrow morning because we are in a very vicious thaw-freeze cycle. Notice our temperatures get up to about 40 degrees, but lows low 20s for all the next several mornings this week.
Still ahead in the next 3 minutes on Up with KREM, our Verify team shows how you can save money by not paying someone else to file your income taxes this year.
But first, we're taking a live look outside. That you can see there, Riverfront Park still has some snow on the grassy areas, but you can see there is actually some on the roads there in front of Riverfront Park. We're keeping a close eye on road conditions all around the region. Stay with us. More Up with KREM right after this.